many different modes to play. Just a lot of pressure on the line for sure. Even though it's just the first qualifier, there's still a lot to play for, a lot to prove. And I'm sure all these players are feeling the pressure. You know, you and I, Machiavelli, we're in a nice position here. We just get to yell at them all day. So, pretty lucky here.
Yeah, no pressure here. I just get to watch some good games and, comment on, some moves and strategy and tactics, and without worrying about having to get, dodge a rocket or a rail at the same time. So it's really nice.
Thankfully, broadcasters are always free from any kind of criticism at all, aren't we?
That's right. That's right. No criticism. Yeah, none whatsoever.
All right. Well, I told these guys to go ahead and get ready, and I think you guys know what you want to see. Oh man, yeah, the emotes are blowing up. It's about that time, so we're gonna go ahead and get going with our drafts. All right, and once again, it's gonna be Blood Run for the first map, as per usual. And there's Sorlag and Anarchy picked up by gellehsak so far. Nyx, Ranger, and Visor. Interesting getting a Visor when there's no Nyx on the field. But, Visor, he makes up a lot of, his ability just in the way he sounds. Just running around as him is just so pleasing.
Well, Visor is actually a very stable pick for any, to get a little more on the serious side. Visor's a little more of a, he's a stable pick for any map because of his... Oops. I gotta hear myself there. Sorry, got a little feedback there. But yeah, he's a stable pick for anybody really. So for any map, because of that wall hack ability, to kind of get a little vision, that little peek on your opponent. So I think it's a good solid pick, especially on maps. Oh my gosh, it's killing me.
But as this warm out is kind of cooling down, I'm sure they've been playing all day as well. Yeah.
Prepare to fight.
And yeah, we won't speculate how many accounts Carnage actually has.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Round 1.
All right, here we go. All right, we're going to be starting off watching gellehsak here. And he's going to be getting the spawn down by the Mega Health, but it's not entirely all that contested here. Unfortunately for him, he's got to double back around to get back towards Rocket Launcher. And Carnage, knowing that, it's going to be barreling down the steps and ready for the fight. Fortunately for gellehsak, his rocket finds its way to Carnage. He's able to stave off the fight a little bit longer.
Carnage is in good shape now to challenge for this Mega Health, which I'm sure he'll do. He's gonna look catch gellehsak trying to jump across.
It's a lot of movement for not a whole lot of effect here, and at the end of this could actually be a pretty clean grab of the armor for gellehsak. Yeah, it doesn't even end up taking that rail either. So he's going to be eyeballing that Mega now, going, all right, maybe I can actually push in for it, or at least get some good damage on. Gonna have to see.
Yeah, nice movement to dodge the shots up there. Great ambush here. He's got a good shot for Sprag.
He doesn't even want Carnage to have the opportunity to make that decision. gellehsak is going to make that decision. He's going to bring the fight right up to the rocket launcher. I think he'd already pushed through the teleporter. Not going to happen, though. He's got the grab for the Mega, barely getting out of there with railable health. In fact, he's still railable at this point. So really riding the line here for gellehsak, but he's done enough damage to Carnage that he's thinking twice.
Yeah, that was a great rail by Carnage as he was, as gellehsak was running down the Mega hallway there. So he's still in good shape here. Very evenly matched so far. gellehsak really had Carnage got away with one there. He set up a nice ambush, just didn't finish up with those good rockets.
So gellehsak still kind of looking at just a natural stack, but that rocket will absolutely ruin him there. He's trying to get out of it, and you can see he's a little bit shaken up. Gets caught on the trim a little bit there. But he's got the one good rocket. Carnage is still going to be able to get a grab here of Mega here pretty soon, unless gellehsak gets clever.
Yeah, Carnage should have good control right now. Even that little... you pick up that armor for 5 armor. That's gonna hurt gellehsak because he doesn't have the light, the light armor there anymore for a little while, and he's obviously not going to be challenging too hard for this heavy.
And as it goes away, we find Carnage at the side of the pillar, opened up to a ton of rockets. Well, just the one is all gellehsak gets away with, and he looks like he's thankful that he just got the one. Didn't want to make him too mad there. He's looking very respectful of Carnage's ability to do damage, but look at that rail from the jump pad all the way to the back corner of the rocket launcher. Beautiful damage. But you can see that Carnage is having no trouble recovering every time he takes some of these hits. So far, it's not having a whole lot of effect.
Yeah, it's just one of those, you know, kind of keep them from fully being stacked, and you know, you're all the way on the other side of the map, so it is kind of frustrating. You know, you want to get them frustrated a little bit and to make a mistake and come at you in an area where they shouldn't. So you just got to be patient. You know, he's doing the smart thing right now. Keep what stack he can, and get yourself in position to where you can challenge. So he's kind of trying to get some peak rails here, get some damage out.
That baiting from gellehsak, I mean,
like waited for his opportunity.
Wow. Incredibly risky play. There was a lot going on there with him baiting out the Dire Orb, waiting for him to throw it before really committing to it. Not even really trying to throw out any rails. He wanted to make sure that if there was a Dire Orb, he wasn't going to get caught in between rail shots.
And the other thing, you know, there's the animation involved. So yeah. I think he also read that, recognizing, you know, hey, he doesn't have a rail or anything out right now. He's throwing the orb with Anarchy. You know, he made that. He got down there really fast and engaged. So good. Again, those calculated risks these players will be making, you know, that'll decide matches. Great play by gellehsak.
Gonna have to see if he can turn one frag into two here, as Carnage coming back in as Visor. He's gonna be top of the map, doing a lot of traded rocket damage. That's gonna cost him the grab of the armor, and that rail doesn't connect either. So there's still a lot of time before Mega comes up. It's not like gellehsak can really hold on to a stack advantage for any period of time, but with a rocket like that, Carnage is definitely gonna be on his back leg. The 225s are available by the Tribolt. He's gonna try to cross here and do enough damage to keep gellehsak off his back. He's spending a lot of time mid-map, though. It looks like he wants to dive down either for Mega or stay up on the armor, but if he doesn't play his cards right, he's going to lose out on both.
Yeah, gellehsak's in a good spot right now. Too bad he lost that armor, though. That was a little foolish there. He was...
Yeah, I think if Carnage kind of didn't drop down, he could have gotten the grab for the armor there. He could have fought that off. But we still hear Carnage over by the rocket launcher. gellehsak is not so trusting of his ears. He's going to hear him up on top of the catwalk.
He's going to look to hide here for the last few seconds. This is it. Good round.
Yeah, as it runs out.
Good round.
I'm not always expecting to see an Anarchy, just run the clock down, but obviously gellehsak is taking Carnage's ability to do harm very seriously.
Round two.
Oh, he played it smart. He didn't really have control. You know, he kind of did those peak rails, was kind of putting on some damage, kind of having Carnage run around, and then once he had an opportunity, he just went in and went for it all.
Oh, jeez.
More great rockets.
One thing has remained true.
And he really did.
If you can rocket them off the side of the teleporter, they're going to have a really tough time getting back in. So gellehsak's expecting another fight here over by rocket launcher, but Carnage is going to be crossing from it. I'm not sure if gellehsak has seen it. He's now looking down the corridor. And if he stayed there for another moment, he would have seen Carnage come around the corner. But now he's got sight on him, dropping down right onto the railgun.
Oh, beautiful movement by gellehsak. Till he missed the jump pad. But still, beautiful, beautiful movement the way he used his boost and reverse strafe jumped out of there.
Jeez. The Rockets are trading pretty hard here, but a Nix on an Anarchy. Neither of them have the health to really justify that. It's going to be Mega and armor at the same time, though, and gellehsak, he's got to be really careful. Even this rocket jump is so risky. He's railable. He not only rocket jumps up to the armor, he jumps off of the pad, putting himself in the air for such a long time, ending up taking that rail. He trades off the damage, though, so I still can't hate it. Yeah.
Oh, Carnage had a little oops there, navigational error. He missed the jump to the heavy armor. Cost him there.
All right, so gellehsak's gonna drug on up here, listening for Carnage crossing the map before he goes up back top map. You can see he was really hoping to catch Carnage on the jump pad there, but with armor coming up, they're both gonna have other things in mind. Nice rocket coming out of gellehsak. Carnage is going to be up against the ropes here a little bit. He has to go through the teleporter, which is going to get him out of harm's way. If he can pop that... Is he going to pop the Ghost Walk? Nope. He's railed. He's shotgunable. He's machine gunnable. Yeah.
Good play. gellehsak's really taking it to Carnage. Carnage is a top-notch duelist, so I'm really impressed right now. His rocket placement in particular has been really top-notch. And Carnage is Oh, good push by Carnage. And even still, look at the great rocket placement. Bounced him in the air, you know, took him again off the wall, and again right at his feet. Like 3 rockets dead. And Carnage is no joke with the rocket launcher himself. He's no slouch. Excellent. He has excellent rockets. So what gellehsak is doing right now is very impressive. Even earlier in the first round, he had that ambush on Carnage in the RL area, and Carnage was lucky to get away. It was a well set up ambush. So he's playing intelligently, and he's landing his rockets are causing Carnage a lot of problems.
Well, one thing that's been a hallmark of today so far has been players just adjusting to some of these playstyles and accommodating there. I'm wondering if we're going to see much of that out of Carnage here on Blood Run. He knows that gellehsak is down. Oh my god, down there. And even with the adrenaline there, he should be able to punish him pretty effectively. Like 1 rail's all it's going to take, assuming that Carnage has a rail.
Yeah, I think he heard that hoverboard around the corner.
It's hard to hide when you're Anarchy. When you're Marty McFly all over the place. But here comes Ranger. A lot of play over that armor that Carnage is going to end up taking. And a lot of the problems that he had was, you know, once you lose your Ranger that quickly, you're never going to have that much of a stack advantage over your opponent if you're, you know, a Nyx. But now he's got a little bit of that to work with. He knows he's got the advantage and he can pressure gellehsak, but look at this. Gela is responding to it beautifully.
Yeah, Carnage he's on the move, but like I mentioned earlier, gellehsak being really slick about when he's not in control, not really giving Carnage, you know, a whole lot of opportunity to engage how he wants to engage, right? It's kind of always been on gellehsak's terms.
Gets the peak rail. It's going to even things up quite a bit. Still 5 seconds early for the Mega. He's going to hear the footsteps. He's got pressure coming in on it. And here's the Dire Orb, and he actually does commit. He even looks surprised there, as it was as it was committed to after the Mega health was taken, and he was ready for all those rockets. Carnage's rockets seemingly not getting there. Oh, the rocket jump to armor not quite connecting.
Rocket jump.
And that gives it over.
That could hurt him.
Nice. This could turn it around.
Little errors like that could turn it around.
He's still pushing forward with the nail gun.
Oh. He had his reanim. Oh, that was clutch. clutch juice there.
Yeah, are we allowed to say that anymore? in a different context?
Oh man, a little unfortunate there for gellehsak.
Yeah,
he missed that rocket jump, and I mean he was really looking to put pressure and close this out. But you know, this is one of those mental things. Don't lose your cool. Don't focus on the fact that, you know, you missed that armor jump and that this could be over already. You got a whole game.
Don't think about that.
Yeah, you got to be thinking about right now.
Alright, so 1 kill knocked off of each of these guys. The spam from Carnage is pretty good here so far. He's got, he's going to get the 1 rail and immediately pop Ghost Walk. I can't hate that. It takes him out of the risky area. Nice little bit of rocket spam. Gonna know gellehsak that he's still putting some pressure on. He's still kind of off on his timing of the armor though, and if he stays up here too long, he's gonna be punished hardcore for it.
Hey, gellehsak's in a good opportunity here to push. He has no Ghost Walk, and he knows it. Yep.
Yeah. That's one thing to be really aware of. If your opponent's Nyx does use a Ghost Walk defensively, you really need to be aware of that timing, because that's your window.
Yes, that's your window to get aggressive, because she has no avenues of escape, and usually, like I said, if they're already popping it defensively, that means they're not in good shape anyway.
Right.
They're just trying to recover.
All right, so 2 pretty good stacks here, but gellehsak has a slight edge. So far, the damage from Carnage has been giving him a little bit of advantage, but we're gonna have to see how this fight goes. This is a messy fight, dancing around the pillar like this. Looking for the fade array rail, and Carnage cannot quite connect it. gellehsak is expecting Carnage to still plus forward, and indeed he does. Didn't get any connection with his vomit, though. You can see that he was really hoping for that play. Carnage getting away with Mega. It's going to be traded off with the armor, but 1 rail, 2 rails taken off of gellehsak. He's in hardcore recovery mode now.
Yeah, that second rail was big. He really needed that one.
Take a quick look here and see how Carnage is doing.
He's going to play.
Just Visor left alive.
Yeah, gellehsak, he's going to be playing passively right now. He's got 40 seconds. He's going to make him he's going to make Carnage make the move, right? To rush into him, to rush into rockets, to rush into that spit. Oh, unfortunate there. Now he's fully stacked. Carnage has his work cut out for him.
Well, he's going to try to open up with a nice rocket. Unfortunately, it goes a bit wide as he gets popped off of his vector. trying to catch your opponent in this room is always a bit messy. I mean, yeah, you can force a fight here, and you're going to hurt for it. You're not going to make a clean fight at all. But look at this. gellehsak is going incredibly silent. Clever girl. Carnage is going to figure it out. Nice little piercing sight there. 1, 2 rockets, but the last rocket is gellehsak's, as is the round.
Very, very intelligent play by gellehsak. Great shots, obviously, but very intelligent play. The way I'm very impressed. Extremely impressed. It was really good to see that mental approach. I mean, he took Carnage really out of his game a little bit there. And then, you know, of course, the charge at the end, there was really nothing Carnage could do. He had to push in that position. But if you look, you know, really controlled it with the rocket launcher is the story of the match. gellehsak really controlled it with the rocket launcher that game.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of spam rails. Not a huge amount of percentage there, but of course on Blood Run, you're spamming a ton of them. You're going for these long-range hits. You're going for these really oblique corners. And if you don't hit, you know, most of them, that's fine because you need to be throwing them out there. It's just like arrow walk. If you have like 20 rockets, you have too many rockets. Start throwing them. You need to get some damage out there. But we're going to be going into the next map here. Any predictions as to what that might be, Machiavelli?
If I had to guess, I think we're going to see Corrupted Keep again.
Okay, yeah.
I think we're going to see Corrupted Keep again.
Yeah.
Or actually, Blood Covenant might be a... You know what? If it's Carnage's pick, which it is, he might go with Actually, I take that back. He might go with Blood Covenant.
All right, just because I want to find out if I am indeed a fraud, I'm going to say that there's no way that Carnage is going to want to play Blood Covenant. Wait for it now, right?
It's Blood Covenant.
Yeah.
Because the reason I said that, and there was a little method to my madness, is because I know he's a heavy Ranger player, and man. Ranger is great for getting around on this map. You know, Ranger's really good, so.
Oh, jeez. Okay, fine. Here we go for the picks. No winning for me today.
To be fair, though, I know Carnage fairly well, so
I thought I did.
I know he's Ranger heavy, and
he was listening. He did that on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, he's totally listening to what I have to say right now. Like, no. He's a little focused, I think. Right. So gellehsak, good job. He looked really strong on Blood Run. I like the way he plays.
All right. It'll just mean it's all the worse if he doesn't win this one. So had a direct last game of that. Oh, that didn't register. That's all right. Means it didn't actually hit. Wasn't actually a direct at that point. All right, so here we are once again on champ grounds. It's going to be potentially Anarchy and Ranger up first here, which if gellehsak can still play intelligently could work out well for him.
I'm curious because this is a little more rail involved, and neither of them really had a terribly high rail accuracy last game, which is a result of both players being really good and not providing angles to get high percentage shots off. But yeah, I'm curious to see if any of them can get it going on this map with the railgun. It'll make a huge difference here.
All right, so immediately here, a little bit of a skirmish as both players spawn relatively close to each other. Carnage is looking for that rail up the jump pad, shaking a little bit in frustration as he doesn't quite make the connection. He's going to be out mega, but up on armor. He's got all the weapons he needs here. Looking for gellehsak now, top of the map. He's going to find him at the jump pad. This is a great opportunity for free damage, especially as it puts gellehsak in a kind of a nasty position about which way to go. But if Carnage doesn't roll the dice right, he's going to end up getting an item, but still being able to use the Dire Orb and catch up with gellehsak on top of pillars. Mega's taken, but so is a rail off of Gel.
Yeah, a little, I don't know if gellehsak didn't see the mist when he was running by towards Mega, but I certainly did from the Dire Orb on the bridge. Should have been ready for Carnage to come that way and didn't get that peak rail. Should have had a rocket waiting for him, or two.
We're looking at Carnage trying to get in for a close-range Dire Orb here. He's looking like he's expecting gellehsak to come around this corner at any moment. I'm sorry. Flip that, reverse it. Colors are hard, you know. All right, but good pickups here out of Carnage. Still doesn't quite have sight of gellehsak, but he can certainly hear him down by LG. You can see him kind of like visually tracking him with the mouse, like over there. Yeah, okay, cool. There's a bit of that you can do because I think it's still true that the volume adjusts a little bit depending on which way you're facing it relative to the sound. So what Carnage is doing is actually kind of viable. Now that said, he didn't get a whole lot of damage out of it, and this fight for Mega is going to be so dirty. 49 health, he's railable, he's rocketable, or you could just Goomba Stomp on him with the rocket launcher. That works too. Gellehsak losing out his Ranger.
Gotta watch out there with that machine gun, but good play by Gellehsak. A little foolish by Carnage. You know, he threw his Dire Orb up there. He's got to recognize that that makes a very loud sound. So Gellehsak heard the sound cue and had rockets waiting for him. He knew where he was coming from.
Oh, they changed. That's why. All right, so Gel up top with Anarchy. Still looking for. He doesn't have a railgun here, so his ability to do the long-range damage across pillars is not going to be all that great. And dropping down to armor is just going to be inviting a ton of rockets from that Nyx. Ooh, up. Stairs. All right.
Gotta be careful there. Carnage will be looking to ambush. He doesn't want him to get a railgun, I'm sure. He wants the Mega instead.
Oh, there's the Ghost Walk, there's the Mega, but he falls down just at the wrong time. I mean, you could see the consternation, and I'm like, which way do I go? All right. But that still leaves a little bit of time before armor comes back up. He can look for the rail across bridge, doesn't quite get it. He's going to have to be happy with what he has here at the moment. Otherwise, he's opening himself up to a world of pain from Gellehsak.
It's a good. He's just trying to get something going there with that Ghost Walk.
All right, we have to jump
Gellehsak not making it easy on him.
They meet in like one of the few choke points of the map. It's never a fun place to start a fight. Fortunately for them, it didn't end there either. And again, right into a choke point. All right, this is going to be dirty rockets the whole way. But Gellehsak gets a little bit of range. He's just looking for that last little bit of shotgun, but Carnage is not going to be anywhere near him at this point. He wants out of there.
Good defensive rocket. Yeah, Carnage got hit with that one for almost 60 damage. It really took him down.
Yeah. Nice rail.
Great rail.
It's enough to make Carnage go, maybe I shouldn't be here after all. It's only got 25 health.
1 minute warning.
And so with armor up, I mean, Carnage showing up to this armor is incredibly ballsy, and he just doesn't have a way out now. Unless that Ghost Walk comes back up, it's not going to happen. There goes. Yeah. Not only Ranger, but Nyx as well.
Yeah, he missed, unfortunately, he missed a couple shots there. Could have really changed the tide, but good play. Again, you got to give credit to Gellehsak for recognizing, you know, good opportunities to push and get the finish. I mean, that's part of it, right? Is you're only going to have so many opportunities, especially against these kind of players where, you know, they're in danger of dying, and who can take advantage of that and get the finishing blow. It's critical. He's making some really good reads.
And you can't afford to make those decisions if you're not in a position to make those decisions anyway. What we saw there from Carnage was, you know, being on the armor, there's only one way out, and it's not a fun way.
Yeah, it was risky. I mean, I understand what Carnage was thinking too, you know, but he was running out of time. So I mean, there's only so much he could do at that point. You got to give credit to Gellehsak for really making it difficult on Carnage. When he's not in control, he's making it really hard on Carnage to track him down. And then every now and again, Carnage makes a mistake and opens him up, right? And then Gellehsak pounces and just gets the frag. And so he's playing it smart.
Gellehsak just looking for a little bit of love on the machine gun. Not quite getting it, but he gets timing on the armor at the very least. Unfortunately for him, that doesn't mean he's going to be getting a Mega. At least he can get himself some weapons here, so he's well up there. Carnage should already have a rail at this point.
Interesting start for Gellehsak, because he got nothing out of that.
Yeah. Oh, but Carnage looking the wrong way there as Gellehsak getting that initial rail. And it might be true that, let me go check here actually. That he, oh, okay, yeah, he did Dire Orb up to get that rail. I was concerned. It was like either he Dire Orbed for the bridge or for the rail. Nice. Carnage still has a ton of stack to chew through though, so Gellehsak's work is cut out for him.
Yeah, but he's commenting on who's going to get started, and Gellehsak's at 50% right now with that railgun, 6 of 12, and Carnage is at 11%. Oh, he finally got a hit there.
Yeah.
There he goes. There he goes.
Made. I mean, he left himself a little bit more of an out, but man, the rails out of Carnage just did the job.
As soon as I was going to comment on how Carnage has been ice cold, he hits 2 rails back to back.
So just like that, he's back into this thing. He's got Mega, he's got armor, and now he's got a great opportunity to take Sorlite down. Even taking a little bit of the spit. It's all right, he can heal that back up.
Yeah, he had plenty of stack for that. So, and gellehsak just, I guess, I don't know, went in for that one. I don't think he really should have, but
blood washes off acid now.
Launcher.
Quake science. Carnage is still holding on to some amount of control here, and that's no easy feat here on Blood Covenant. It's much more common to see one player get each of the items, but Carnage wants to make sure that he is just leveraging everything he can. 3 minutes is a long time to hold on to a 2-frag lead, so Carnage is still in this to make some damage happen and keep gellehsak off his back.
Stopwatch.
Yeah, certainly don't want to go in total defensive mode right now and start giving up major items to your opponent too early in the map. All it takes is 1 kill right now, and everything can swing.
And they're both willing to throw down some rails right now. gellehsak, though, maybe not so worthwhile for him. We have the Dire Orb thrown out. Carnage taking a little bit more damage before he commits to it, but he's looking for it. And the jump pad! He's up there. There's the 1 airborne. And make that 1 more rocket to get him back into this thing. 1-on-1 now.
Yeah, good finish by Carnage there. Got him coming up the jump pad.
Of all the places to show up, gellehsak must have thought that Carnage wasn't going to commit to that Dire Orb.
2,
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right on that one. He's clearly a very intelligent player. I think if he knew Carnage was going to be there at the top of that jump pad, he wouldn't have done that.
I could only hope that applies to most
rocket.
of us. Yeah, direct to donk, keeping him up on the upper platform, so helpful. He knew that it would be a bad idea for gellehsak to drop, so he prevented him from doing so. What a pal. So Carnage top of the map now, looking for him through the teleporter. Not quite tracking him here. We have a few more seconds before armor, and gellehsak might be off his back long enough to make that a clean grab. Yeah, pretty good timing. Oh, didn't quite have the timing for the for the Dire Orb,
Mistimed it a little bit. It's okay, Carnage. We know what you're thinking. It was good stuff.
It was a good idea. The timing's a little bit tough. Looking for the rails, but only ends up eating one. So his control is starting to fade away here a little bit. Mega's going to be coming back up. Is he going to commit? Nope. He's going to just go up the jump pad and go, all right, I'm taking the Mega. It's mine. 17 health for Carnage now, as he's trying desperately to see if gellehsak is coming back in for the fight. Maybe gellehsak thought he was a little bit more stacked up than Carnage actually was. But if that's what it takes, well, unfortunately for him, gellehsak is taking away armor.
Yeah, I think gellehsak just recognized they were both a little low. I'm sure he knew Carnage was low, but he knew that heavy armor was popping up, so he did again, making a smart tactical play. Uh-oh.
Oof.
In trouble there,
nice
though.
rail. Never turn your back on a
Got
rail.
caught. Yeah, he got caught coming around the corner there and wasn't ready for Carnage to be there.
All right, that puts Carnage in a pretty good spot now. We do have a Sorlite back up, though, and that's not somebody that Carnage can afford to run away from for, 3 minutes. We'll see. 10 seconds to Mega. He's expecting gellehsak through the LG first, and in fact, he will be coming through the LG, just not quite when Carnage thought so. There's the jump pad, yep. Oh, I love the patch where you can hear jump pads now.
Wow.
It just means you could do so much, but it just turns right back around on him. I mean, taking away the armor allowed gellehsak to just tank so much of that.
Yeah, that's what's the big difference there. I mean, he could just take so much more than Carnage. Oh my goodness, nice shotgun with Carnage. It's a bit of a
that's the
old
worth of
school
visor.
Quake 3 move.
A good Hail Mary on a spawn visor, assuming you can get the weapon spawn right. Assuming you can get the rocket jump right. Oh man, Carnage is like, oh shit. And gellehsak saw that too. Alright, so still no rail for him. LG and rockets going back over to Mega. Should be fairly safe actually. gellehsak is going to be much more focused on the armor, even though it's still 10 seconds away. But at this point, Carnage doesn't have a rail. He can throw out a little bit of spam here, which will be cute. Not much else.
Yeah, not having a rail on this map is certainly problematic. So even though gellehsak didn't really have control, it can force you off of a lot of areas. And I'm wondering if he's going to try to ambush Carnage going, oh, great.
I wonder where he's going to be. Yeah, this machine gun might be enough to push him over. Oh. gellehsak is making some really good moves here. even though it's not a safe bet for Carnage to think that he can get that armor. Mega's going to be back up, and gellehsak, he might be a little bit not so willing to get the grab immediately, but he's going to wait there for 2 seconds and go, you know what? I don't think he's going to show up. He's going for armor instead. So all that damage from Carnage essentially just washes away.
Yeah, I'm expecting gellehsak. He's going to try to, hit him with that one rail, that one rocket, and get ready for that kamikaze push pretty soon. Oh, that's going to slow him down, though.
Yeah.
Great shot by Carnage.
Yeah, so if Carnage can keep Gel off his back long enough here, well, catching him on the bridge might be a good way to start that.
Might go for a kill,
especially
yeah.
at the armor, yeah. And he can't get far enough away with the dire orb. Oh, it's exactly what the visor sight's for. Great. All right.
Yeah, good round. Good round by Carnage.
Fight.
Carnage is starting to pull this thing back together.
Round begins in 3, 2,
11%.
1.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. All right, so there's the pickup of rail now for Carnage. A good thing for him to have early on. Oh man, this close range nail gun is just brutal, and there's the just plus down rail to finish off Gella's Anarchy there at the very least. And we got Sorella coming back in, but gets a spawn on the stairs, which means other than that bomb, it doesn't have a whole lot in the way of weapons. Carnage, knowing this, can just plus forward in and get the frag with the rocket launcher, looking for the next and last spawn from gellehsak this round as the Ranger. He's not quite going to find him just yet, but he's down low. He misses the first rail, but it's not going to take too many to push gellehsak over.
Good start for Carnage. Poor start by gellehsak. Coming around the corner like that, he really didn't have a good arsenal to be flying around the map like that, especially towards rail. And he just ran into Carnage with that nail gun.
Now we have Carnage going quiet here. He's not going to get any more free ambushes off of gellehsak here. He's going to need to work from. Goes for the air rocket. Doesn't quite connect it, but the next two are solid. And gellehsak actually connected with the dire orb, allowing that last rocket in. So, geez. That's going to be Carnage taking map 2 there on the Blood Covenant. Nicely done. Which means we have another tiebreaker.
Big momentum shift. Big momentum shift, especially gellehsak kind of started off really strong. I think he took the first round, right, if I'm not mistaken. And even though this was Carnage's pick, but Carnage came back with good focus. You could tell he just kind of started to dial in, and he was doing really well there. And gellehsak, kind of mentally made a few errors, especially that first kill he gave up in this last round, where he's just kind of running around with Anarchy, recognizing, hey, I only got a tri-bolt and a mega health. It's great you got the mega health, but you really don't have a good arsenal, right, to fight somebody off in various circumstances.
I mean, again, if you can keep the pressure on, there's a lot you can get out of those spawns, and Carnage did some really good work there. And
yeah, he did.
To some viewers, that might just look for, you just plus forward in and rocket, but you need to be really aware of where the spawns are, where their likely movement off of a given spawn will be once you figure out which one they've taken. And, of course, connecting your shots, as you pointed out earlier today. Actually making the hits is a component of that. And Carnage excelled at all 3 there. That was great.
Yeah, definitely. There were some tense moments. They said they're very close fights here and there. I'm curious to see what the last map is going to be.
Me too. I'm not going to make any more map predictions, by the way. I'm done. I'm retiring from predicting maps. Can't do it. But again, I mean, it was Carnage's pick, and he ended up taking it just barely. Just barely. But it worked out well for him. Good stuff. All right, let's go ahead.
So if I had to guess, I'm going to say gellehsak goes with, what's it, the keep.
Yeah.
The keep.
I mean, you have the easier job because now there's one more map out of the pool.
Well, yeah. But I think it's more like it's rocket and LG orientated.
Yeah.
Takes the rail out of play. I feel like his rockets were really strong, although Carnage is certainly strong in that department. But that's just taking a guess.
Well, we're about to see it here. But I like that a lot of this play has been less about the champ abilities and more just about, the two players playing each other off. There's been a ton of prediction, a lot of good spam shots, a lot of, kind of fair trades on some of the items, but it always turns into a fight before the next ones come up.
Yeah, these guys are definitely at top level. So it's great to watch, all these little back and forth, decisions they're making and trying to read each other. And this, again, it's just an endless cat and mouse game. It's really, really good. And when you see it played at a top level, It just really is a pleasure to play.
Wrong button there. Just to remind you who we're playing up against. We got Carnage and gellehsak going into a tiebreaker. Not the only tiebreaker today. In fact, I better update that score, but we've had a ton of them. And of course, after this, we've got a couple more matches. We've got Chance and Dewey, as well as Lavik and Jeremy. Now, you've played a bit with Lavik, so am I pronouncing that right?
Actually, I've not played Lavik.
Oh, I thought, okay, I'm sorry. It was Jeremy, right?
No. It was Jeremy and Dewey. I was
right. Okay.
looking at their demos and giving them a little coaching, I guess, and just having them go at it and try to apply some of the things I was telling them. And I got some positive feedback from both of them, which is appreciated. And I'm glad to see them doing well. So it's like one thing to pass on information. It's another thing to hear that, hey, the information was actually useful and helped them progress as players, which made me really happy.
A little bit goes a long way.
Do well.
You know, it was
a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it made a big difference for me. You know, going kind of personal on my story, when Thresh kind of gave me some pointers and things. You know, they weren't necessarily always, groundbreaking stuff like, but he just kind of changed my approach a little bit, the way you think about things, and it can make a big difference in your results in a match. So I just try to do that and let them kind of play to their own strengths and talents. So, like I said,
sometimes it doesn't take much at all. There was a couple years ago where, I don't know if you're familiar with Zorak War. But he is a relatively young Quake Live player, and I haven't seen him play too much of Quake Champions yet, so I'm a little bit concerned. But really young Quake Live player, he came into QuakeCon, made a name for himself, and the next year he had gotten a little bit of respect, so he was able to go around and quiz people like Rafa about what he should be doing. And Rafa said, just play your opponent more, try to figure out what they're doing and try to react to what they're doing and try to turn that into controlling the map, not just because of the timings, but because of where and how your opponent's moving. And the very next match, where Zorak was playing up against Rafa, he almost took Rafa down. In fact, it was just one single rocket, and it still burned in the back of my retinas that cost Zorak the match. But it came incredibly close. So yeah, sometimes you just tell him, all right, play the opponent more, not the items. And Zorak went, all right, thanks, coach. That's all he needed.
Yeah, just those subtle things can push somebody in the right direction. And it definitely, in Quake, you definitely want to always, I mentioned it before about keeping, tracking your opponent.
Yeah.
The best in Duel, you'll notice they always kind of have a general sense, if not maybe, so a lot of times they'll know exactly where they are. But if not, they'll have a general sense, oh, they're in this area of the map, over in here. They'll have an idea where you are and where you're going, what you're doing, what's your stack at. That's another thing that's an important aspect of Duel, is recognizing what your opponent's stack at.
Right.
It's actually been a little easier now in the more current versions of Quake.
It's
in the old versions of Quake.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have numbers, and you didn't have numbers in the old versions of Quake. Although you had, so you just hit somebody. If you threw a prediction rocket out, down a hallway and you left, there was no hit indication. There was nothing. You just needed to know whether or not it hit or
except for the
use the force,
of your
I guess.
Opponent. Yeah.
Except unless you're close enough to hear the screams, that's pretty much it. But
Quake
so
has always been
important.
a little bit of a changing game when it comes to how much information you have, and it's been going in an interesting direction because, like you said, it's a little bit simpler now, but because of the champions and the different stack pools, there's a lot more variables in play at this point. So you see some really clear-cut situations come up where, if you get a direct rocket against an Anarchy or a Nyx, it's go time almost, if the ability's not in play.
Yep.
And I really enjoy seeing those moments of clarity that happen to both players, and both players react to that situation, whereas in the past they might not have. And it's actually turning out to be more interesting than even I thought it would be. So.
Yeah, I agree, because like I mentioned, the prediction rockets, now you hit the hard prediction rocket for 100 damage, 80 damage, and you can make a play off of that, where before it's just kind of, you don't really know what happened. And so yeah, I like it. It's just important that the players keep track of enemy stacks, because that influences your weapon selection and whether or not to be aggressive or passive. And am I going for this item or am I not going for this item?
Right.
So it's always good to keep, like I said, tracking your opponent and tracking their stack.
Yeah, and it took me a long time to even get used to hit sounds, so that's where I'm coming from. I'm the real curmudgeon here. I'm like, screams are all I need. Beeps and boops? What is this kid stuff? But it's good to have,
that's new. It's all right. I've adjusted. I've gotten used to it. Okay. I always mention that you just kind of move from game to game and you adjust. Yeah. There'll always be little things that you in games that based on personal preference. Oh, I wish this was a little different or that different. But in the end, you play games, just have fun with it, and make the necessary adjustments to dominate whatever game you're playing.
And we've seen a ton of that today, and we're not quite over just yet. We are indeed going into the third map between Carnage and gellehsak. They're just reconnecting to the server right now, so we'll have them back in here shortly. I think we'll give themselves and ourselves, and maybe even yourselves, a little bit of a breather if you want to go refresh your beverage or just stretch your legs. You know, I'm sure you have like phones and stuff so you can walk around with it. I'm still not used to the Sentry, all right? Cool. But we will BRB as we get rolling in here. I hope you were all ready for another fake countdown, because we are going back into it here. Map 3 is indeed a thing. Here we are. How about that? All right, we got Carnage, we got gellehsak. And the tiebreaker is going to be on Sarnath. Which, as I recall, was your prediction.
Picks.
Yeah. All right.
Actually, no. I predicted keep.
Oh, okay.
I was wrong. As hard as that
is.
As hard
I feel
as
a
that
little
is for
bit
me
better
to
now.
admit.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, this is a map where just about everybody excels. Oh, Carnage, just being a real gentleman here. And I don't mean that sarcastically. He is actually like a really polite guy. Like, creepy polite. All right, here we go.
Creepy.
All right, so we're going to be having Ranger, Nyx, Visor for Carnage. And Visor is sort of like Anarchy for gellehsak. Don't get to see double Visor every day. Got to be a lot of rushing around the map. I'm not sorry.
Round begins in
So it looks like Carnage is going with the Visor at the
round
start.
1 fight.
All right.
Interesting. He's kind of changed it up. I think he likes getting a read on gellehsak. It's kind of changed things around a little bit for him.
Jeez. All right, so Carnage a little bit light on weapons at the moment. Still trying to find a good way to make his way to rocket launcher, but catching gellehsak with a nice rail. It's going to force him off of the Mega here, but he's still going for the chase, still going for the damage. He could get everything or nothing depending on how this goes. Even, you know, having this fight puts him at risk for some of the items, but he's going to be able to get that armor. Still costing himself a rocket launcher though, so he's depending everything on rails, LG, and shotgun apparently.
Even though he didn't get the kill there, I thought that was a good aggressive push by Carnage. He put himself in position to get a frag. It just didn't work out. But he was putting, you know, once he hit him with that shot, you know, he recognized he's low, came in, even with the shotgun, just put any damage extra you can on him at that point.
He's really anticipating him being able to have the stack advantage there, but the rocket and rail advantage goes over to gellehsak as he makes the hit, makes the frag.
Yeah, going through that doorway. Oh, unfortunate, missed that. He missed his rocket jump, gellehsak. But yeah, Carnage got caught trying to go through that doorway. Good position by gellehsak, good rockets. As I was mentioning earlier, his rocket placement's really great. Because Carnage is no joke when it comes to a rocket launcher fight. So the fact that gellehsak is taking these engagements and getting the better of it a lot of times says a lot about the quality of his placement of those rockets.
Absolutely. I mean, Carnage in that last fight, I don't think it was a problem at the very first, thinking that, oh, maybe I can push in with rockets. But, you know, the second or third time those rockets said no, that's probably the time to get out of there. But a nice little bit of a trade there on the Mega. A little bit of damage taken by gellehsak.
He turned it around.
Yeah.
So it looks like Carnage, he's going to challenge for this heavy.
All right, Carnage is just expecting a fight here at the armor, knowing that it's one that in Anarchy will have a little bit of difficulty getting out of it cleanly. But Mega's going to be right back up, and gellehsak can still cut in front of him very quickly, very cleanly to get the Mega pickup. Coming right back into nail gun, fully stacked up. But this is really good rockets either way. Neither player really wants to see the end of this fight.
Yeah, neither of them got out of there unscathed. They were both pretty even and stacked, both low. Oh,
Jeez,
gellehsak again.
What were you saying about his rockets? Yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
All right, so that's 2 champs down from Carnage. Only Nyx left alive here. And this might be a fight that forces Nyx to use Ghost Walk. Oh man, a 96 damage rocket.
Yeah, he knows. He knows it. He knows he's hurt.
And floating above the armor at this point, knowing that Nyx is back over by the upper armor. It's going to help him at least.
A couple
yeah.
Yeah, he'll take a couple snipes and he's watch. He's going to go back. Oh no, he's going to go for the finish right here.
Yeah. Now if that went south, he wouldn't have had a way to get back to the armor, but
yeah, once he went down,
pretty confident there.
Prepare to fight.
I thought maybe he might just take one more pass at the items before going back for the kill, but he had it right there. It's good. He's solid, gellehsak. This guy is really solid.
No such luck there. Here we go. Going to be seeing Anarchy come out of gellehsak right off the bat, and again, Visor on Carnage for first up. It's going to be traded items. Again, we're seeing gellehsak having to spend a little bit more time getting weapons. Going to have to see what Carnage has as he potentially either goes through teleporter or jump pad. gellehsak's actually expecting him up the stairs, and that's not the way he's going. He's going to hear him out the other side instead. 6 seconds to Mega, and he flies by with 1 rail, comes through the teleporter, kind of a ballsy play, and his timing is just about perfect. Gets the rocket pop, cannot get the lock with the rail just yet, wants to get out of there with his health intact at the very least before diving into armor, which was a pretty safe play. He could make that conversion pretty without a whole lot of risk. And he's looking for Carnage now, yeah.
Even the way he flies in, he lands those rockets with very just great precision. You can see it was just throwing Carnage off.
Stopwatch. Tank.
So gellehsak still holding on to the stack here a little bit, but again, he can only do that so long as an Anarchy, but it's long enough to get that second frag in, or rather first frag on Visor.
Yeah, Carnage went for the weapon switch, you know, the famous rocket rail combo, but he kind of had him on along the wall there. Could have probably just, you know, stuck with that second rocket, because once he fired and he missed, and then they landed on the ground and he had nothing. He had to wait for the reload. And that's
how you get stuck.
Stopwatch.
So
yeah, at least if he would have kept the rocket out, for people who are like, you're a little newer. The reason why I say that is even if he would have missed the rocket, he would have still been able to fire a second one as he landed versus not being able to fire anything.
Right. And it's amazing that gellehsak was able to get out of there with only 24 health. He's getting back up to it, but it's a lot of work for an Anarchy to get up to more than railable health. He's kind of floating around this Mega, but that rail didn't quite bounce Carnage off of the platform. He really needed that too. With only 12 HP, extracting from this fight is going to be almost impossible. There's the Mega taken away by Carnage and the aggressive Dire Orb. He got in another rail though, so Carnage is incredibly weak as gellehsak is spawning up Sorlai. If Sorlai can find him quickly, things could turn around in a moment.
He took a lot of damage.
Be able to recover here though. Not sure if Gell's going to be able to hear that. And he's still got good timing on Mega here, something that he's stolen away from gellehsak once again. Should have armor for gellehsak and of course plenty of health as the Sorlag does. But they're just cycling at this point. They don't really have items to play for that are really desperately needed by either of them. They're much more nervous about these first hits. There's a jump pad to kind of open the doors to things. Carnage not receiving anything is wondering what's up now. He's even paranoid about picking up this armor. Jeez. Man, if he had dropped... I mean, they're both so out of sync with each other.
There you go. gellehsak did good there. He listened for the Mega pickup, so he's got a good sense now what both items are. So, and they're pretty separated, so he's going to know that.
Jeez. Going for the Dire Orb, not quite
Big
committing
play
with
is this next heavy armor. Next heavy armor, Mega health is huge.
Sneaking up on a dinosaur is something my mother always warned me against, and that's exactly where gellehsak is stepping it back in. We're down to only Nyx now for Carnage.
Gonna run into trouble down here.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised. You went for the Mega first.
All right, so that means that Carnage will only have access to, well, should have LG, should have rail. No rockets though. And that's where gellehsak could really push in on the close range fights, but we're gonna have to see if he can catch up with them.
Hey, Carnage only got a minute left here, so it's a great rail. It's a good way to get things started. It's gonna be tough though with the Nyx.
Yeah, I mean after this armor, I mean gellehsak might be more than happy to see what Carnage wants to do about these fights, and he hears him on the jump pad and almost catches him with the beautiful rocket as well. No damage, but I guess that's good enough justification for Carnage to still plus forward on it. Can't really blame him. He's got nothing to lose except, you know, the round. But there's the close range play, not something that Nyx can take too much of. But the damage so far is not going gellehsak's way.
Oh my goodness.
Nicely done.
Very fortunate. He got away with 6 health. gellehsak after that rail through the portal. 6 health. He missed the, you know, when Carnage made that push, he missed the rocket. Carnage put some good rockets on him and made him pay. It was really, really close there. I mean, really close. He was, I can assure you, he was doing his butt clenched up a little bit on that one.
Yep.
You know, he was
All right, so this is going to be a really nasty fight right at the beginning here. Just grabbing a rocket launcher, going plus forward, and getting out of there with just a little bit of health left over, taking away a little bit of armor as well. We've got both items coming up in 10 seconds, but gellehsak looks like he's still on the warpath, anticipating Carnage around most of these corners, making sure that the smaller armors are safe before he commits to, well, anything, really. He's going to see Carnage up top and going to assume that Carnage is not going to leave up the Mega to come down to him for the armor grab. But there's the trade.
nice rail.
Yeah. So gellehsak going a little bit more quiet now. I mean, that was an explosive first 30 seconds, and it certainly put Carnage on alert. but Carnage is going to be coming back with the vengeance here as they've traded items. Looking for those initial rocket hits. And again, this room, I mean, it's so flat that, you know, making these rockets reliably is a real work of art, if you can do it at all.
Yeah, because when you're, for those less experienced, when you're making those ground shots with the rockets, you know, longer ranges, just small little changes in elevation will make a big difference whether your rocket is too short or too long. So it's really hard when you don't have an angle to get a good ground shot on somebody.
2 stairs can change your life, yeah. But Carnage is going to be a little bit weak here. gellehsak stealing away Mega as well. And there it goes. Nice little fadeaway there from Carnage. And so it means that this armor coming up, I mean, it's a little bit surprising that Carnage isn't there. Like, yeah, he's not all that well stacked up himself either, but it's not like he has to be afraid of Anarchy stack. He needs to be more aware of when Anarchy can recover. Like that. Just like that.
gellehsak has him on the ropes here. Machine gun could have really worked him right there. But I think he's worried. I think gellehsak has him on nerve because of the rocket placement. He's really scared to get aggressive because, you know, even right there, he kind of got a good position. He thought he had him, and he ate a direct rocket. And next thing you know, it's like he's in bad shape. So you got to give a lot of credit to gellehsak for keeping, I think, Carnage is a little out of his game right now.
And that's where the plays for Mega can end up being a little bit safer than the plays for Armor, but Carnage diving down for Armor anyway, and his self-rocket forces gellehsak back onto the old needle. And they're going to be leaving that fight up. I mean, no frags yet this round. I mean, this is still match point for gellehsak, so he would be pretty comfortable to just finish this thing here in about a minute. And, well, 2 minutes. Math on stream, yeah. But gellehsak is as well stacked as you can expect an Anarchy to be. And then 12 seconds.
He's doing really well, running the items, running the map. We got in a bad position there, though. One good. There it is. It was a good rocket. Bounced him up straight up in the air. It's not good.
Doesn't take much.
Nope. That's the problem with those light characters, as we've seen.
All right. So, but the problem is throughout all that fighting and all that positional play, Carnage never really got his hands on the items for any considerable length of time. And, you know, he had the stack advantage on Anarchy. Against the Sorlag, oh, absolutely not. And especially as gellehsak is not only taking the items, but doing a hefty bit of damage against Carnage as well.
Yeah, very slick rail. He might have a kill here. Oh, that rail into the pole really cost, or I mean, rocket into that pillar there really cost him.
Yeah, that's the dark side of the reduction of the rocket latency. You can't pre-fire your rockets anymore.
Beautiful Sorlag movement there.
Alright, ends up going for it. Kind of a risky place to put yourself there. Gonna have gellehsak back over by LG. Carnage is gonna take this brief respite to take away some health. Does gellehsak know he's there? Yeah,
he's there. Creeping. He heard him.
And you know that Sorlag knows how to open doors too. It's going to be a flatland rocket fight. There's the die orb to get him off of it. There's a rocket jump with the air control coming right into the LG. And the damage is real, but so is the frag from gellehsak.
Yep, that stack. He knew he had him. That's really slick. I like the fake rocket jump as well. You know, he just kind of did a little damage to himself, made it seem like he changed position. In reality, he did not.
This is a nasty fight. gellehsak thinking, maybe I wanted to stay in that. Maybe I didn't want to leave that right away. Oh, but he catches Nyx. Oh, just on the outside of the armor. That is so nasty. And so now we've only got a visor left to save the day for Carnage here.
That's it. 5 seconds.
Stopwatch. You win.
Nope.
Great game. Great game. Well played by gellehsak.
Amazing work there. And is that really the way you expected that to go?
I honestly had no idea how this match would go. This is another one of those, you know, toss a coin in the air, and you know, I'm sure on any other given day, Carnage could get a win too. So just it wasn't his game today. You know, gellehsak, you gotta tip your hat to him for the way he was making his decisions. If you look at the rocket damage, he almost doubled Carnage rocket damage, which is pretty much the story of the match there. I was commenting, you know, we were commenting how greatly he was placing them.
Yeah.
But he dished out almost 1,000 more damage in rocket damage. And as you can tell, a lot of those battles did divulge into straight rocket battles. And yeah, he carried the day, and it was a lot of it was good placement and prediction. You know, he was kind of reading running carnage into them.
Fundamentals.
And the fundamentals of Quake. It's like I said, it's a pleasure to watch. It's a pleasure to watch. So it was a great match.
All right, well, we certainly aren't over yet. As we leave gellehsak and Carnage behind, we are indeed going to be going into Chance and Dewey. I haven't really seen them active today. I also haven't been really looking to see if they're scrimming or practicing, but hopefully they're sharp and ready to go here. And we'll be ready to go here in just a few minutes as well. We're going to take a slight break because I'm starting to feel your pain there, Mackie. I've been sitting for a bit. But we're going to take a quick stretch, a quick refill of our beverages, and we'll be right back with the next match here in just a few minutes. But after that, of course, we're going to have Lavak and Jeremy. So 2 more awesome matches ready to go. And look at this. We've had more 2-1s than 2-0s today, and that's always more fun for me, at least. So I'm happy. All right, guys. See you soon.